Hi, hi, welcome back to our podcast, the astrology podcast where we dive deep into the cosmic current shaping our lives. In today's podcast, we're delving into one of the more intriguing and often misunderstood placement in astrology, Gemini in the eighth house. This is where the curious, talkative, and mentally agile Gemini meets the intense, transformative, and mysterious energy of the eighth house. What happens when the communicator enters the realm of secrets, taboos, and transformations? Let's explore. So let's begin by revisiting the eighth house itself. In astrology, the eighth house governs transformation and revert, shared resources, including inheritance, taxes, and debt, deep psychological patterns, death, and the metaphysical realms, sexuality and intimacy, mysteries, secrets, and taboos. It's often linked to Scorpio and ruled by Pluto in modern astrology. So this house isn't about surface level experiences. It's about what lies beneath. The eighth house demand that we face the unknown, shed skin, and emerge transformed. It deals with power dynamics, trust, vulnerability, and emotional depth. It's where we investigate what others keep hidden and where we too may harbor shadows of our own. So now enter Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, thought, and adaptability. This is the sign of curiosity and learning, verbal expression and mental agility, playfulness and wit, restlessness and duality, flexibility and sociability. Gemini thrives on variety, intellectual stimulation, and the art of conversation. It likes to skim the surface of many subjects rather than diving too deep into just one unless something really hooks their interest. So, what happens when this airy, chatty energy lands in a water house known for its emotional gravity and psychological depth? Gemini in the eighth house brings a fascinating tension between the lightness of thought and the depth of feeling. This is Gemini in the eighth is the mind meets the mystery. So, people with this placement often have a strong intellectual interest in taboo subjects, sex, death, the occult, psychology, and power dynamics, a natural curiosity about the hidden motives of others, a mental approach to intimacy. They may talk about emotion more than feel them at first, a need to understand deep subjects by reading, talking, and analyzing rather than simply experiencing them emotionally. There's often a desire to decode life's mysteries, almost like an emotional detective. They might be obsessed with true crime podcasts, mystery novels, or esoteric studies like astrology, tarot, and metaphysics. This placement can also indicate someone who thinks a lot about mortality, legacy, or the idea of rebirth, sometimes even from a very young age. But instead of being weighed down by it, Gemini brings a sense of intellectual engagement. They're not brooding, they're probing, questioning, and gathering information. What is the challenges and shadow side? Every placement comes with its challenges, and Gemini in the 8 is no exception. Well, Gemini, so one is emotional detachment. While Gemini likes to talk about feelings, the eighth house demands feelings. This placement can lead to intellectualizing trauma or deep emotional experiences rather than processing them fully. Trust issues. The eighth house is about vulnerability and merging with others, but Gemini prefers to keep things light and changeable. This can lead to inconsistency in intimacy or difficulty in forming truly deep emotional bonds. Scattered focus. Gemini's love of variety might clash with the eighth house's need for sustained attention on psychological healing or long-term transformation. These natives may flit from one healing method to another without grounding. Power struggles via communication. Gemini is a skilled communicator, but in the eighth house, this can be used manipulatively or as a defense mechanism. Words may become tools for control or avoidance. So, gifts and strengths. But there's so much potential with this placement. Mental alchemist. Yes, eighth house is an alchemist sign. placement. So these individuals can take complex, painful, or taboo topics and explain them in a way others can understand. Think of authors, therapists, or speakers who make trauma, sex, or transformation accessibly and relatable, skilled in research. They often have a gift for deep research. This can channel into careers like psychology, investigative journalism, forensics, or occult studies. Healing through dialogue, talking in their gateway to healing, whether through therapy, journaling, or intimate conversation. They can process the unprocessable through words. Shared resources savvy. They may be clever with joint finances, investment, and business collaborations, especially if they work in communication, media, or education. So Gemini in the eighth and in intimacy. Let's talk about sex and intimacy on eighth house domain. Gemini here brings mental stimulation to the bedroom. Words, ideas, and playful exploration are more arousing than pure physicality. They may enjoy talking about desires, fantasies, or even experimenting with role play and communication based kinks. They seek partners who can engage them on psychological and intellectual level. However, true emotional vulnerability may take longer to develop. There can be a fear of being emotionally caught or losing their independence through intimacy. Trust needs to be built mentally before they can open up fully. um, Transit in synastry notes: if you're experiencing a transit of Mercury or a longer one like Pluto transiting your 8th house Gemini, expect major shifts in how you think about intimacy, death, money, or transformation. In synastry, someone's Gemini planet falling in your 8th house can spark intense mental attraction, even obsession. So this is a thinking about you constantly kind of connection, but with a twist of mystery and psychological depth. So, tips for Gemini in the 8th house natives: allow space for silence. Not everything needs to be processed through words. Trust the wisdom of your emotions and explore depth mindfully. Balance your curiosity with discernment. Not every rabbit hole leads to treasure. Practice emotional vulnerability. Use your gift for communication to express feelings, not just thoughts. Ground your mental energy. Use meditation, journaling, or even therapy to anchor your mind during transformation period. So I'm gonna give you some top career paths for Gemini in the eighth house. uh, Psychologists, therapists, counselor. These individuals are skilled at discussing complex emotional issues. They use talk and analysis to help others transform. Investigative journalist, researcher, a natural ability to dig beneath the surface and ask hard questions. They might explore taboo topics, scandals, or expose hidden truths. Financial analyst, tax advisor, estate planner. The eighth house rules shared resources. Gemini here can handle contracts, negotiations, and complex money matter with sharpness and flexibility. Occultist, astrologer, tarot reader, they often study esoteric knowledge and can explain it in clear, relatable ways. A great fit for those who blend mysticism with logic. A writer, author, especially in mystery, true crime, or self help. Gemini loves writing and storytelling. The eighth house adds a dark depth or transformational twist. Oh, sex educator, intimacy coach. Gemini brings comfort with language. The eighth house brings comfort with sexual topics. This combo supports honest educational conversation about sexuality and emotional intimacy. Forensic expert, detective, criminologist, curiosity, analysis, a drive to uncover hidden truths, deal for solving mystery or working with crime. Crisis manager, conflict mediator, these people can talk others through intense transition, form grief to business breakdowns. They're mentally calm in chaotic or emotionally charged scenarios. Career strength of Gemini in the 8th house: excellent communication about difficult or taboo subject, intellectually curious about psychology, power in transformation, gifted at managing and negotiating shared resources or investments, can adapt quickly in high pressure, changing emotional environments, natural networkers in deeply specialized or private industries, Um, there's a shadow career challenges, scattered focus, starting too many projects and not finishing, emotional detachment from the work they're doing, talking about transformation more than experiencing it, and avoiding depth in favor of surface level analysis. So yeah, Gemini in the eighth house is a placement of deep curiosity, mental alchemy, and powerful insight. It's where the air of the mind meets the water of the soul. These natives are here to ask the hard questions, explore taboo territories, and transform through dialogue, thought, and shared truth. Um, Thank you for joining me in this deep dive. I think that's all for today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might resonate with this energy. And if Gemini is in your eighth house, I love to hear how it shows up in your life. Give us a comment on the comment section, and yeah, I want to hear some your experience. I have this placement as well, so hopefully it helps you guys who have shared placement, shares same energy. So until next time, keep seeking, keep speaking, and stay curious.